It's crazy how one single vengeful moment can spiral into something that could ruin everyone you love. My fiancé cheated, then he threatened me, so I fell into his rival's brother's bed, and we never really left. This isn't just a revenge story anymore. This is the story of how I'm stuck in a messy, passionate affair that's about to bring all of our worlds crashing down. But to understand how I ended up here, you have to understand what he did first. Just 6 months ago, my life was perfect. I don't mean good, I mean perfect. I was engaged to Alex, the charming, ambitious heir to a corporate dynasty our city basically worshipped. Our families, they were titans in the same industry, locked in a rivalry that went back generations. Our engagement was supposed to be the epic truce, the fairy tale ending that would merge two empires and finally bring peace. And I loved him. At least, I loved the version of him he let me see. The guy who brought me coffee in bed, who could charm an entire room with a single smile, and who promised me a future that sparkled just as much as the 10-carat diamond on my finger. We were even building a custom home up in the hills, a glass and steel monument to our future. We were that couple, the one everyone wanted to be. Our life was this carefully crafted masterpiece, and I was all in. I bought the whole story, the love, the legacy, the lie. I really believed we were forever. It's funny how fast forever can fall apart. The cracks started small. Late nights at the office, hushed phone calls he'd take in the other room. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was ignoring the red flags. He was a busy man with huge responsibilities, right? But that little seed of doubt had been planted, and it was starting to grow. The night everything blew up was supposed to be our pre-wedding gala. He was late, and when he finally strolled in, he had this look on his face, a mix of guilt and just annoyance. He'd clearly been drinking. Later that night, back at our silent, sterile apartment, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. It was a text from a number I didn't recognize. My hands were shaking, but this cold, heavy feeling in my gut told me I already knew what I was going to find. The message was simple. Last night was incredible. Can't wait for the next time. XOXO. When I confronted him, he didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. At first, he just lied, a whole string of pathetic, obvious denials. But when I held up the phone, his face changed. The charm was gone, replaced by something cold and cruel. He told me it was a one-time thing, that it meant nothing, but then he said the words that shattered my entire world. He said, "And even if it wasn't, what are you gonna do? Tell everyone? Ruin the merger? Ruin us? You wouldn't dare. You need this. You need me.
If you even think about walking away, I will make sure you have nothing. I'll tell everyone you're unstable. I will bury your family's company. Don't test me."
It wasn't just a betrayal anymore. It was a threat. He wasn't just a cheater. He was a monster hiding behind the face of the man I loved. He had locked me in a golden cage and was rattling the bars just to remind me he had the key. And in that moment, all the hurt just curdled into pure, white-hot rage. He thought he owned me. He was about to find out how wrong he was.
I walked out of that apartment in a complete daze. I didn't have a destination. I just knew I couldn't be there. I ended up at some sleek hotel bar downtown, the kind of place where secrets are bought and sold over priced whiskey. I was on my third drink when I saw him.
Ben. He was Alex's polar opposite. Where Alex was polished and slick, Ben was just real. He was the younger brother of Alex's #1 business rival, the family my fiancé was obsessed with destroying. Ben had a reputation for being the quiet, observant one who wanted nothing to do with the corporate war his family was waging. He was just sitting by himself at the bar, nursing a beer, and he looked just as out of place as I felt. Something inside me just snapped. This reckless, dangerous idea took root. If Alex wanted to play dirty, if he was going to threaten me with ruin, then I was going to ruin him first. And what better way to do that than with the one person who represented everything he hated? I walked right up to him. To this day, I don't remember what I said. My actions were fueled by a cocktail of heartbreak, fury, and scotch. All I knew was that for once, I needed to be the one holding the power.
He was surprised to see me, and even more surprised when I sat down and ordered us another round. He was hesitant, suspicious. He knew exactly who I was, but I didn't care. I wasn't there to talk. I was looking for a weapon.
We ended up in his hotel room. It wasn't romantic. It was a chaotic mess of two people using each other to forget something. For him, maybe it was a quick escape. For me, it was pure, unfiltered revenge. Every touch was a silent scream aimed directly at Alex. When the sun came up, I slipped out of his room, feeling not a drop of guilt, but a terrifying sense of victory. I had done the one thing Alex would never, ever forgive. I had taken back control. Have you ever been so angry you did something totally out of character? Something you knew was reckless, but you did it anyway? Let me know in the comments, because I really need to know I'm not the only one. That one night should have been the end of it. A single, catastrophic act of revenge. I'd made my point, right? But about a week later, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Are you okay?" It was Ben. I should have deleted it, blocked his number, moved on. But I didn't. I wrote back. And that's how it all started. Not with a bang, but with a simple text message. Our secret conversations became my lifeline. He never pushed. He never asked about Alex. He just listened. For the first time in years, I felt like someone actually saw me. Not Alex's fiancé, not some heiress, just me. One text turned into a secret coffee. That coffee turned into a late-night dinner where no one would know us. Before I knew it, we were completely entangled. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was messy, complicated, and intensely passionate. With Ben, I wasn't a pawn in someone else's aim. He saw the bruises Alex had left on my soul, and instead of using them against me, he seemed to want to heal them. But we were living on borrowed time, and we both knew it. We were stealing moments in the shadows, and the fear was always there. A close call at a restaurant where Alex almost saw us. A lie I told about my whereabouts that almost tripped me up. The whole affair was like walking a tightrope over a canyon. The thrill was matched only by the terror of falling. I was falling for the one person in the world I was supposed to hate, and the lie was getting bigger and more dangerous every single day. I wasn't in control anymore. The affair was. And then, of course, it all blew up. I don't know who told him. Maybe a friend saw us. Maybe he hired someone to follow me. All I know is that I walked into my apartment one evening, and Alex was just standing there. He wasn't yelling. He was calm, which was so much worse. He held up his phone. On the screen was a grainy photo of me and Ben, laughing as we left a small cafe. My blood ran cold. "I told you not to test me," he said, his voice dangerously low. "But you just couldn't help yourself, could you? And with him, of all the people in the world, you choose the brother of the man trying to ruin my family?" The fight was brutal. The threats came back, but this time they were dripping with a personal, venomous hatred. He called me things I can't repeat. He promised he would destroy me, my family, and Ben. And then, right on cue, my phone rang. It was Ben. Alex snatched the phone from my hand and put it on speaker. Ben's concerned voice filled the room. "Hey, are you all right? You went quiet."
Alex just laughed. It was a horrible, broken sound. "She's a little busy," he snarled into the phone. "But don't worry, Ben. I'll be sure to send her your regards, right after I'm done burning your family's entire world to the ground." He hung up. The sound of that click was the end of everything. The secret was out. The war was on.
That was 3 weeks ago. I left Alex for good that night. I walked away from the house, the ring, and the life I thought I wanted. The fallout has been a complete catastrophe. Our families are at war, business deals are collapsing, and the media is having a field day. Alex is making good on every single one of his spreads, and it's been harder than I ever could have imagined.
And Ben, our relationship, the one born from revenge and nurtured in secret, is now out in the open, and it's barely surviving the hurricane. The trust between us is shaky. He can't get past the fact that I used him to start all of this, and I can't escape the guilt of it.
Was any of this real? Or was it all just the consequence of a broken heart and a bruised ego?
I honestly don't have the answers. Some days I feel empowered, like I finally broke free. On other days, I feel like I just traded one cage for another, one I built myself with my own reckless choices. The only thing I know for sure is that revenge is a fire that burns everyone, especially the person who lights the match. I set my old life on fire, and now I'm just standing in the ashes, trying to figure out if anything is even worth saving. I got my power back, but I have no idea what it's going to cost me in the end. This whole situation is an absolute mess, and I'm still figuring out what comes next. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Please like this if you think I did the right thing by leaving, and subscribe for more, because I have a feeling this story is far from over. I'll see you next time.